A little bit of a rough start here for Pukin Dogs, but if the record has anything to say about it, they could have a chance to bring this back, give us the reverse sweep we all want. I am a sucker for a good map 5. Hello again, everybody. I am Gedster, joined by Needle tonight, and, Maelstrom.
Maelstrom. They're
no further
looking
thought.
Good. Yeah, no further thought needed. Just Maelstrom. Maelstrom, the spicy water team, looking really good here in this match. It's been close, though. It's been so close. Map 1, absolute dogfight between these two teams. The attack from Pukin Dogs on Blizzard World as well, dogfight between these two teams. The attack from Maelstrom was sloppy, but they still got it done, and they're up 2-0 here. But either of those maps could have gone either way. The reverse from Pukin Dogs, definitely possible. Could be in the cards for us here. And we're going to be heading to another Pukin Dogs map pick, second in a row since they're down 2-0. We're going to Route 66.
Route 66. Interesting decision here. I imagine we'll be seeing at least some Sigma, probably a lot of Wrecking Ball, Dive, Poke, both very prevalent here. Probably less Ramatra than what we've been seeing, but for how much these teams like that character, we might just see it anyway.
Yeah, I completely agree. I would expect to see similar compositions to what we saw on Blizzard World with a mix of Ball, mix of Sigma, maybe occasional Ramatra. Maelstrom, they're going to be showing their Ball comp that they were pretty successful on their attack on Blizzard World. They're going to be playing the Ball with the Tracer Sombra and the Ana Zen. Pukin Dogs, they're showing the Zarya right now. I think they're trying to fool us. I don't imagine they actually roll out on that. But it's interesting here. We talked a little bit about Maelstrom, how they played the Sombra on their attack, and they were very reliant on EMP to win fights. Their 2 fights that they won that map were with EMP. They're on the defense now. They can't really be afforded that luxury. And Pukin Dogs, they're going to be rolling out with the Diva, the Tracer, and the Sombra as well. They have the EMP in their pocket as well as a big fight win.
Yeah, they don't have the time to wait for an EMP to charge all the way up. Hypernut gets up to 30% almost right off the bat, but you can bet that that rest of that EMP is going to be a lot harder to charge up. Now, this Flatman on the ball is going to be putting pressure onto the supports right now, but with Hypernut being hacked and 1v1ing Gooncore, it's looking a little bit rough. We'll get that Mega Health Pack eventually, but with Gooncore just in the back line, sneaking around, doing what Sombra do. Oh, but Ochre going down, that's at very least a good start. Manbro dude with the good Zenyatta shots. Eventually the Diva will fall out of mech, probably fall as well. Be eliminated entirely. No, gets around the corner. Probably gonna be fine now is Ricky, but I don't know, losing that Kiri that early, a little bit unfortunate.
Yeah, we get to see Pukin Dogs, their composition, it plays pretty slow compared to Maelstrom's, right? They're going to be opting to sustain through the dive most of the time, since they're playing the Diva. They're playing the Kiriko as well, and then looking to punish the engage from Maelstrom, but it didn't really get punished that well at all. On the first fight, Maelstrom managed to find somebody, Pukin Dogs found nobody, and you're right, the EMP online here for Hypernut really, really early compared to Pukin Dogs.
Crucially though, right now, absolutely nothing in the way of a translocator. Throws it down in the exact same spot it just got broken in, but they know where that is. Ooh, and even with that EMP, you're not safe right here. Triage and Manbro dude also looking mad low right now. Will both fall. And now with 2 minutes left, Pukin Dogs are on the home stretch of first point. And I think they will have to win one more fight to get across the finish line. But it might be a while before the supports are back.
Yeah, I don't know if Maelstrom's going to be able to contest here. Hypernut has the EMP. They're going for it, but Hypernut gets scouted out by Ricky on the Diva. Flatman goes down, and they have to abandon ship.
Yeah, I don't think they can get back into this. Yeah, there's no way. They needed the ball and the Sombra to be there simultaneously. If the EMP had gone off on maybe 1-2 targets, then they had a chance. But since Ricky was able to scout out Hypernut that early, then it was just over. Really well played on Ricky's part.
Yeah, and that's so brutal there from Maelstrom. Hypernut's engage, getting messed up, not once but twice on both when they had control of the gas station and on their recontest. They haven't had a chance to use the EMP. Blackman gets staggered out. Pukin Dogs are going to get more progress. And that 50% ultimate charge advantage that Hypernut had on Booncore, completely gone now, by the way.
Yep.
Pukin Dogs have all 5 ultimates online, EMP included, and Maelstrom, they have to retake into Booncore, setting up to use the EMP early. It's going to be so hard for Maelstrom to take the tempo that their composition wants here.
Man, bro, dude needed to have the biggest transcendence of all time to stop it, but the Pulse Bomb is going to say no. Iconic is dead. The Nano goes out onto Blackman. That is a brave, brave Nano boost to give. And now another one goes out onto Ricky. This one is here to seal up the fight. The Nano on the Blackman, unfortunately, finding very little. In fact, I'd go so far as to say nothing. And yeah, this is just starting to look really bad for Maelstrom. Not a single EMP used so far, and yeah, eventually you just gotta get off the character.
Somebody call.
Yeah, Maelstrom, they're switching it up. Looks like they're going to be pivoting over to their Ramontra comp. Dude likely going to be using the Transcendence, switching over to the Ana. But Pukin Dogs, you have to be really happy that Maelstrom decided to switch their composition at that time. Pukin Dogs had to use 3 ultimates to win that last fight. Maelstrom, they had a few online, but they give a lot of them up to switch composition. When we could see the snowball here for Pukin Dogs just continue. They could win the fight with maybe only Kitsune Rush, but Nova goes down early. They're going to have to wait a little bit.
Yeah, they gotta wait just a little while longer. Without your Tracer, you don't have that Pulse Bomb on deck, and Booncore kind of looks like he's going back to swap to something else. Oh, the Hanzo Mirror. Interesting. I'm down with this. This should be very, very, very fun to watch. Hypernut obviously on this back truck, gonna be looking for a pick here. Now, interestingly enough, ooh, good pick from Iconic. Nova going down. That gives me even more time to bring up the point I was just about to say. Oh my god, Iconic, what are you doing in the back line over there? Eventually will fall to Ricky, but finding Zorthcon and Nova before that happens. Really well played.
Yeah, Iconic a little dirty with it there, as Maelstrom, they've begun to stabilize with their composition, as I say that, Blackman overextends a little bit, and all of the stabilization they had is gone, as Pukin Dogs are going to be able to push the cart here, and Pukin Dogs, they didn't really win the fight, but Blackman running and dying now allows this to be one-fight territory for Pukin Dogs, and they didn't use a single ultimate. They almost have 5 online.
Alright, there's the Kitsune Rush, there's the Transcendence to sustain through that. Increased fire rate, increased reload time, decreased cooldown time, everything else. But it won't be enough. Down go Blackman, Triage, and Membro Dude. Out go a couple Dragon Strikes. Nova is the only one to fall on the side of Pukin Dogs so far. With his Nano out onto the Diva, so much damage is being poured onto the side of Maelstrom. And Pukin Dogs are looking to have a really, really, really good time bank going into this next part of the map. The bomb is going to find Blackman. The block isn't going to be enough to save him. The Diva still pouring out ridiculous amounts of damage. She's trying to deny the value from this Ana. No healing for you, they say. Triage goes down. Eventually, the rest of the team manages to get back out there. This stall has been ridiculous, and the Annihilation might just be what they need to retake this. Booncore and Nova go down. They don't have the damage anymore. This Diva isn't going to be enough to get through the Ramontra's health pool, and Pukin Dogs live to fight one more time.
And it's amazing to see how Pukin Dogs can be in these absolutely amazing advantageous positions. They kill so many people, there are only a few people left, and the last members of Maelstrom just don't die. Okay, Hanzo snipes being traded back and forth. Likely not going to be any opportunity for Pukin Dogs to go in here with Booncore getting sniped by Hypernut, but it's so back and forth here, and that's the problem, is that you need all 5 people alive for Pukin Dogs in order to close it out, and Maelstrom, they're just finding these miraculous kills on their recontest, and then they were able to stabilize, use the Ramontra ult, and there's no winning for Pukin Dogs at that point. They had already used all 5 ultimates to get to that part to the end of the map.
They have nothing right now. They're coming up on a Pulse Bomb, but that's it. With 30 seconds left, what else do you have? A Dragon Strike? We all know how bad that ultimate is. Maybe a Nano Boost if Zorthcon can charge that up fast enough. But right now you are in a lot of trouble if you're Pukin Dogs. You need to get through a Kitsune Rush. And a Pulse Bomb, which finds Booncore. That's so much of your damage gone. Man, bro, dude goes down. But that may not be enough. With the Kitsune Rush in play, that Kiriko is going to be putting out a lot of healing. The Nano goes out onto Ricky. Out goes so much damage from him, but it won't be enough. The Sleep Dart goes down. He will be awoken rather quickly, but Ochre falling. Iconic and Ricky both going down. The Nano out onto Blatman. Nova is down. They have no way of touching the points. It is over. Pukin Dogs will not full capture the map, and Maelstrom now have a series win condition in sight.
Yeah, and that's an amazing stabilization there from Maelstrom. Pukin Dogs, I believe they had around 3 minutes heading into third point. And Maelstrom decided to switch up 4 characters in their composition heading into third point as well. The only ultimate they had left online was Transcendence. We get to see the Transcendence come out. I don't even know if it did that much for them. Blatman overextended in a fight, likely used to playing with an Ana with that composition, but man, was stuck on the Zen. He dies. Pukin Dogs get to the end of the map. They have 5 ultimates to win the fight, and they can't close it out. It's crazy how Pukin Dogs, they can be in these, they set themselves up for these massive advantageous situations, partially off of the back of Maelstrom's mistakes, partially off of just good play from Pukin Dogs, but when they're gifted the win on a silver platter, they just turn their nose up at it, and they find a way to lose anyway. It's really, really crazy, but still, they push it to the end of the map. That's still a win condition for Maelstrom, but it's a solid win condition for Pukin Dogs as well. Getting to the end of the map when realistically they could have been first held if the EMP was better set up from Maelstrom on first point. You have to be happy with Pukin Dogs' performance, even if they choked a little bit at the end.
Can't be too upset with just barely over a meter away from the final point. It looks like we're going to be rocking out with Maelstrom on a Pharah Mercy attack. Little bit unusual for what we see, but we know Hypernut favors this Pharah pick. He is quite solid at it, so can't blame him too much. Maelstrom on this Wrecking Ball, unsurprisingly. Gonna be looking for just any opportunity they can get to go on in there. Just dancing around on top of Big Earls. Both of these teams running tanks that are able to control high ground, by the way. Able to go up to anywhere above them and put pressure down on from the high ground. But as of right now, they're just going to be brawling a little bit on the point. D.Va contesting this cart right now. And the big ultimate that we need to be looking at here is probably Nova's Pulse Bomb. Look at how quickly it's already charged up to 80%. If that can find a pick onto, like, I don't know, maybe the Mercy if she ever touches the ground? Maybe put damage pressure on the Blatman? Could potentially be massive.
Yeah, it definitely could be. And it's interesting to see how long the fight is lasting. A minute 20 already off the clock here. I believe there's only been maybe 1, 2 eliminations, if any. Maelstrom looks like Blatman's getting low. Blatman's going to go down. Boomcore is traded out. Elimination's finally happening, and match control's finally shifting, but still, nothing really happening here.
I mean, a couple picks are going back and forth, but this has been the most... Yeah, like you said, nothing is happening. This is like the cart's been moving slowly but steadily. A couple picks have gone back and forth, but this is the same fight that started when the timer said 4 minutes. Like, nothing has changed. Nothing has been definitive. And everybody's coming back at roughly the same time for another 5v5 fight. Out goes the aggressive play. This D.Va's looking real low, but has the self-destruct needed to pop the remake. Won't be happening, though. The barrage is going to be dropped right in front of Ricky's face. A couple picks go out in the favor of Maelstrom, and it looks good for them. The res onto Iconic means that they will definitely win this fight, and they will capture first point.
Yeah, and Pukin Dogs, their composition, it likes to play a little bit slow. Really good into what Maelstrom is playing for most of Maelstrom's defense here. But on the attack, Maelstrom, they're playing a different comp. They have the Pharmacy now, and Pukin Dogs, they don't have a good answer for it. They don't have a hit scan. Their answer has to be playing faster with the EMP, with the Sombra. Boomcore finally has the EMP online. It took him a long time to build it. Doesn't opt to use it here. Triage finds Ochre early.
Oh my. That's a pick for sure. Flatman going down is not a good sign, though, for Maelstrom. Losing your tank that early is, it's real bad. I'll be real. And trying to res it in front of a Tracer who has Pulse Bomb is also a bad idea. Down goes Hypernut, down goes everybody else. And Pukin Dogs are going to stabilize, at least for now. And that's a crucial fight to take, because the cart didn't move very far. It only moved like 20 meters, and now it's moving back.
Yeah, and that's a really nice fight for Pukin Dogs as well, because they get to hold on to the EMP here. The EMP is so powerful into what Maelstrom are running, but they don't use it early despite Maelstrom. They're getting a little bit of space here. Another neutral hack onto the D.Va instead of EMP, and Booncore goes down! Why aren't Pukin Dogs setting up for EMP?
You're right, they just need to set up for EMP and they win that fight definitively, but instead they throw out the Kitsune Rush, and immediately Ochre and Zorthkong go down! This has been a disastrous fight! Not only could they have won that fight off the back of just their EMP, but then they throw in an egregious couple of support ultimates. This is looking really bad for Pukin Dogs here. They need a big EMP, and it needs to be right now.
Yeah, and it'll be a little bit hard getting some positioning on the retake here. Sombra should be able to get in just fine though, but they need to use the EMP early. Booncore setting up for it, likely going to be hitting the back line, or at the very least the cart here. His team needs to follow up, and they need to win off this EMP.
They gotta do it quickly. 2 meters away. EMP hits 4. That's a good couple of targets to hit. Really good stuff. Hypernut goes down. Blackman's out of mech. Triage is looking worse for wear. But Booncore still somehow dies. Blackman is out of mech, but still finds that kill. Eventually, he will fall. Booncore is not in this fight right now, which it won't really matter. It kind of looks like he'll get the damage done he needed to anyway. Everybody's gonna fall down eventually. And somehow, they finally do it. They finally have a good fight. And that one ultimate has for now saved them.
Yeah, and keyword being that one ultimate there from Pukin Dogs. They managed to hold on to the Pulse Bomb and the D.Va Bomb. They're gonna need a hero play from Nova here. But we've been talking about it the whole time. Iconic has the Pulse Bomb on the other side, and he's been very, very lethal with it. All he needs is one kill to open things up here for Maelstrom.
The Pulse Bomb can do it. The Focusing Beam can do it, really. Let's be real with ourselves. There goes that mech, and now we have another mech on the field. Hypernut's duplicate gonna be building up to a self-destruct real quickly. 76% now, just a little bit more, and Echo is gonna have this D.Va Bomb. There it is, it gets tossed up. Will it find anything? Nope. Wait, but Blackman finds Ochre. A couple D.Va Bombs. When there's one D.Va Bomb on the field, relatively easy to avoid. When there's two, it's significantly scarier. You gotta position so well, but Booncore gonna be saying, nope, not happening today. The EMP will land onto a couple. The Nano goes out onto Ricky, and with 13 seconds left, I don't know if Maelstrom has what they need to push this over the line. 10 seconds. Nova goes down. Flatman goes down. It's so close, back and forth, but Iconic falls and nobody else is there. And just like that, Pukin Dogs, they're starting the potential reverse sweep. Right here, they finally win on their map pick. But now they have an uphill battle to fight, winning 2 of Maelstrom's map picks if they want to take this series.
Yeah, it's true. And it's going to be rough for them here. They weren't able to win that map very cleanly either. But their stabilization on second was pretty good. But Maelstrom, they took so long in the first fight, and that's like a common thing that we're seeing in this match between these two teams, is sometimes the fights are lasting so much longer than they should be. The first fight there drained so much of Maelstrom's time bank. They spent over 2 minutes just trying to win the first fight on first point. They were able to clean things up in the end, but Pukin Dogs, they managed to stabilize at the very end of second there, off the back of Booncore's EMP, and just as things were looking rough for them in the very, very last fight there, Booncore, with the heroics, kills 2 on the Sombra, hits another good EMP. EMP is such a powerful ultimate in this compositional mirror, and Pukin Dogs, they kind of got away with murder. Booncore did not have an EMP built by the end of the first fight on Maelstrom's attack this map. He was really, really, really slow to build it, and that allowed Maelstrom to cap first point. but Maelstrom should have been able to do more than just that. They should have been able to win faster, and because they didn't, Pukin Dog's able to get a good defense, hold it out, get the map win. With a reverse sweep, it's going to be difficult.
Not going to be easy at all, especially considering the next mode we're going to is Push. Now, Push is a mode where, statistically speaking, now this isn't always correct, but statistically speaking, if you win the first fight, you are very likely to win the map, because it is harder to push that when you are at a disadvantage, especially considering if you get forward spawn first, oh, it becomes an uphill battle for the other team. And since we're going to Maelstrom's push map of choice, this could be pretty bad for the Pukin Dogs here. It looks like our map will be Esperanza. This is a pretty good map. Pretty good map.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to push, this is probably the best one of the three, because the other two maps aren't so great, I think, in the Commonwealth's opinion. I don't think people are the biggest fans of Colosseo and New Queen Street. I'm personally happy that we don't get to watch those maps. I like Esperanza more. So
I mean, I gotta disagree with you. I personally, I break the mold. I am a New Queen Street fan personally. I like that map a lot. However, I do understand why people hate it, and I cannot blame them. Esperanza probably the best designed of the three, though. Almost certainly. I can't really argue with that. But either way, it does seem to be a favorite, and I imagine we're going to be seeing a fair amount of... Do you think we're going to see Wrecking Ball or Ramatra here? I imagine Wrecking Ball, right?
That's what I was about to just talk about. I'm not sure what we're going to see. We see Maelstrom showing the ball, Pukin Dog showing the Ramatra. We might have a face-off between these two styles here. Maelstrom found a fair amount of success with their ball Sombra Tracer comp, but it didn't go so well for them on their defense en route. They're going to be pointed out here, though. Pukin Dogs playing the Ramatra with the Lucio, they're going to be able to take a lot more fights when they're at the disadvantage than Maelstrom, because they can get back faster with the Lucio here. I'm interested to see if that's going to come into play for them.
Very well could, but as of right now,
Are they switching?
I think they are. I think that's what this is. They just ran all the way back as soon as they saw what was up. Or maybe they're faking it out? No, Booncore. No, they are making wholesale swaps. Complete compositional swap right off the bat. No Ramatra. I am sad, but oh well. So literally no damage has been done, no healing has been done, and already this robot has pushed the barricade 20 meters. This is a very, very good start for Maelstrom. They'll take any distance they can get, and Pukin Dogs they kind of just gave that up. 30 meters for free.
Yeah, pretty egregious. I have never seen a team walk back to spawn to switch compositions on push before. And you talked about the first fight advantage here for Maelstrom. Well, it's going a little bit away with Flatman dying early, but they already have 35 meters on the board.
I should have just said first distance advantage rather than first fight advantage, because that's what it is. Really, normally you get that distance by winning the fight, which is why I say that. But they have 35 meters. They did nothing.
Yeah, they did nothing, and they got the 35 meters for free. And now we're going to see Maelstrom says, it's my turn to switch, as they go over to the Ramatra, and they're playing the Ramatra now. What is going on?
Oh my god.
Maelstrom, they're not playing what they usually play with the Ramatra. They're on the Sombra Tracer still. Sombra, a decent pick into the Diva. I say as the Diva kills the Sombra.
Oh my word, this is great. Either way, Hypernut is going to be switching again! We have an Ashe this time, rather than the Sombra we were just seeing. The distance has been overtaken by Pukin Dogs, 37 meters and pushing as of now. Booncore at 75 to this EMP right now. Could be the tide turner that Pukin Dogs are looking for, especially considering that they are all significantly closer to ultimates than the enemy counterparts on Maelstrom. Outgo a couple of bombs for Pukin Dogs, but neither of them gonna find any kills here. All they have to play with right now is this Ochre, the Ochre beat, which will not be in play this time around. And ooh, a couple more picks going their way. It's looking real good for Pukin Dogs right now.
Yeah, and there was a nice little turnaround with the Kitsune Rush mid-fight as well. Things look to be going decently Maelstrom's way when Triage hit the Nano Boost on the Blatman. They stopped the checkpoint cap from coming in, and that's going to be a little bit crucial here. Pukin Dogs, they just get the cap. Maelstrom likely going to be able to take the fight at the bot when it's around 60, 70 meters. Not looking too bad for them, but they're at a big disadvantage, and we've been talking about it all night. The EMP is online for Boon Corps. Going to be very effective into Maelstrom's composition that's going to like to play stack.
EMP and beat, crucially. If Flatman decides to pop Annihilation, that thing gets completely negated by the existence of the sound barrier. Like, you can just speed out of there with a ridiculous amount of health and you will be fine. You will be A-okay. Walking this robot back right now will get rid of the forward spawn for Pukin Dogs. They opt not to contest it just to keep everybody alive. Out goes the EMP from Boon Corps, who had very little health at the time. Okay, out goes the beat from Ochre and Man Bro Dude. There goes the... Yeah, there goes that Annihilation. Remember when I said that they could just beat and speed out of it? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Nobody dies to that ultimate. Hypernut is going to be looking worse for wear as it stands. In the middle of a lot of fire with very little health. Bob is eventually going to get thrown out and somehow kept alive by the Kiriko. Getting the Suzu in just barely in time. The terrible tornado coming in to save him at the last second. And now this is a crucial fight here. If Maelstrom get this forward spawn, they have a very, very solid chance of being able to end this. But with Hypernut going down, it's not looking great. Ochre falls next though. And Bro Dude is going to be out of the picture here. And Triage going down means that almost certainly Maelstrom will not be getting this forward spawn. It's looking a little bit rough for Maelstrom right now as the cart starts moving back towards the red side.
Yeah, and things going back and forth, and these fights still taking so long like they have been all series. Only 5 minutes left in the time bank, and Pukin Dogs, they're probably going to be able to get a little bit more cart progress here. If they kept pushing it. Okay, there they go.
Yeah, okay, I was gonna say.
Yeah, they got it. Triage has the shooting rush online though. Maelstrom, they have a tool to engage, but Pukin Dogs have a massive positional advantage just playing on the high ground here. Flatman's gonna have to force the cart forward, and then Pukin Dogs are probably just gonna collapse.
Yeah, they're in a really good spot to take this fight. Flatman moving up pretty aggressively behind the high ground where they were, but Boon Corps going down first in the fight, not able to win the 1v1 against Icon. The Pulse Bomb going out will find Blatman, but unfortunately Nova dying to the explosion will go down. Gets back a lot faster than Blatman does, in fairness, but still looking a little bit worse for where is Pukin Dogs. Iconic has this Pulse Bomb to work with. If this is a stick, then it could be massive. They know Lucio's up here. They're looking for it. Not gonna opt to pull the trigger there. Goes back across the line for Maelstrom. Looking pretty decent right now, but no! Hypernut just gets caught out a little bit out of position. A beat not in time to save Triage. Yeah, okay, this went from looking okay to looking real bad for Maelstrom. We're approaching the 3-minute mark, and they are about to potentially give up more distance.
Yeah, and that beat there from Man Bro Dude might just be the beginning of the end for Maelstrom on this map. That's one tool that they don't have to sustain against the EMP anymore. He can't LOS and hide from the EMP. They can't sustain the fight with it. And Maelstrom, they're switching things up. They're finally showing what I talked about at a little bit at the beginning. They're playing May Bastion here into Pukin Dog's composition. I'm not sure if it's going to go well at all, but it's possible. But the big thing here for Pukin Dog is still the EMP. Boon Corps needs to go in early with it. He has a huge opportunity here.
Yep. And he can get it right now. There's not a whole lot they can do to stop it. He's just positioning here very carefully. Eventually Ricky will go down. That's such a risky time to use the EMP, but it seems to have paid off. Down goes Hypernut. The Triage Immortality Field is not going to be enough. Ochre will fall. Man Bro Dude falls next. They need a couple more picks if they're going to make this EMP really worth it. Down goes Triage. No supports for the side of Maelstrom. This just went from bad to worse. Out goes the Annihilation. That is a brave decision to make if you're Flatman. you're gonna find Boon Core, but I don't know if you can find much more value out of that one. Nova is gonna get back to the point. Ochre falls once again. They're still getting distance. This robot has not moved backwards. Hypernut finally moving it in the other direction after the swap onto this Cassidy. Gonna be looking so hard for any of these shots to hit. Hypernut consistently so good on these hit scans all night. Sometimes you just need to switch to Rudy Tooty point and shooting.
That's true, and we get to see Maelstrom finally look to stabilize here, but some of them have to come back from spawn. The hack comes out from Boon Core, a little bit of a collapse there onto the backline of Maelstrom, but they've stabilized. They're here. They're approaching the window, approaching the peak, approaching the blizzard. They have a lot of tools online, and Pukin Dogs, they don't have much left in the tank after they used the EMP last fight.
They can sustain through this upcoming blizzard with the sound barrier, but that is about it. If Maelstrom tries to engage with this, like, window here, what are you supposed to do about it? You're just supposed to LOS it. You can't do much more than that. Triage is going to end up pushing through that just because it's not going to keep working. The bomb goes out. Hypernut goes down to a couple shots from the Bunny Blaster. The remake finds Iconic. Not going to be enough to save him is the beat. Another fumbled beat from Dude. This is looking worse by the second. Maelstrom, this is it. You need this next fight and probably the next, like, 3. So this is looking real bad.
Yeah, and it's so rough for them because many fights ago, Maelstrom, they didn't manage to get the checkpoint there. It's a brutal position for them. And Boon Core has another EMP online. If he just uses it early, Pukin Dogs are probably going to get like 30-ish more meters, and the hill's going to be even harder for Maelstrom to climb. Oh, but Nova goes down!
Oh, if there was ever a start you needed, that was it. There goes Nova, and despite you have the forward spawn, and you are Tracer, so you're going to get back quickly, but that pick is still potentially big. You need another one, though, and there it is. Flatman's going to find Ochre, and Boon Core goes down next. This is a full-scale retreat. Get out of there. Let them have the robot for now. We still have forward spawns as long as we can hold on a little longer. Pukin Dogs will take us to map 5, but Maelstrom doesn't want that to happen.
Yeah, and it's the beginning of the impossible comeback here for Maelstrom. They only have 3 ultimates online, but the crucial thing is still Boon Core's EMP. Maelstrom, they have to play stacked around the cart. They're scared of T90. Boon Core goes in early with the EMP here.
It's gotta be over. Wait, no way! They don't get a kill out of the EMP, and Hypernut happens to find Nova with the Deadeye. Ochre goes down. There's the Annihilation. A couple picks come through, but it doesn't matter. The 3K from the Annihilation is going to be enough to seal up the forward spawn points. And now with forward spawns in play, Dude can potentially ferry back this Batiste and this May, both with their ultimates, but they have to get back quickly. Nova will find Hypernut with the full spawn. And Dude will fall shortly after. It is Blackman alone. Nobody will get back. And Pukin Dogs have just taken us to the 5th map of tonight's series.
Yeah, the hill a little bit too high for Maelstrom to climb there. Pukin Dogs, they had 4 ultimates for the recontest. Nothing stopping them from winning that last fight, especially with 2 of Maelstrom dead. And wow, what a back and forth map this was. We saw at the very beginning of the map, Pukin Dogs don't take first fight, walk back to spawn, switch their composition, and instantly surrender 35 meters. Maelstrom only gets 20 meters the rest of the map. Pukin Dogs, that decision, I really thought it would come back to bite them in the butt, but it didn't at all. Maelstrom decided to switch their composition immediately right after as well. We saw Maelstrom roll out on the ball into the Ramatra comp of Pukin Dogs. Pukin Dogs were like, we don't want to play into that. Switch to the Diva. Maelstrom were like, we don't want to play into that. Switch to the Ramatra. And then we saw multiple switches from Maelstrom come out for the rest of their defense, as well as Pukin Dogs just kind of had control of the momentum the entire time. They switch over from the Ana Zen to the Lucio Kiriko to the Lucio Bap. We see Hypernut switch from the Sombra to the Ash to the Bastion to the Cassidy. We see Iconic switch from the Tracer to the May. When you switch that often, it's so hard for you to gain control of the ultimate game, and the ultimate game is what you need to be able to win in order for you to get momentum going here. And Maelstrom, they switched what felt like too many times there. They couldn't ever gain an advantage back, not an advantage big enough at least to make up for the lead distance that they lost early in the map. And Pukin Dogs, they were able to hold it down, looked a little bit scary when Maelstrom pulled out some heroics there at the end in their overtime push, but Pukin Dogs had it under control, and I think we're seeing a lot more of just a calm team from Pukin Dogs here. In the first two maps, sorry, it was looking rough. The fights were lasting forever, and they weren't able to close things out. Not looking like that anymore on Esperanza. They're really bringing it back here, pushing back against Maelstrom. Staring down the reverse sweep, it's definitely possible at this point.
Oh, yes, it is. This is looking worse and worse for Maelstrom by the moment. They are still on the map pick going into map 5. We are going to a control map of their choice. It won't be Lijiang Tower. I'm not sure what the other maps in the pool are, so I'm not going to try to make a prediction.
It's Nepal and Oasis. I know it's Nepal. I believe Oasis is the other one. But it's rough here. You have the big pick advantage here if you're Maelstrom. You know, being the losing team and all that, you get to pick the next map. But the advantage isn't as big when we get to map 5 because one of the control maps has already been played. You only get to pick between
That's
two.
True.
It's possible if you're bad at both of them, you just have to pick between the lesser of the two evils, you know. Yeah, I don't know how good Maelstrom is at these last two control maps in the pool. So they have the advantage, but it's not as big as it is for an escort map or for a hybrid map. It's not as big, and it could be bad here for Maelstrom. I don't know how good Pukin Dogs is on the control either, but Maelstrom, we saw them able to win the first one. It's a mix of Ramatra and Wrecking Ball, and it's gone back and forth on which team is better at the Ramatra, which team is better at the Wrecking Ball this whole night. So no matter what control map they go to, I think it's going to be close.
I think you're right. I think this is very likely to go to last map, last point. It could go either way at this point. We could see a reverse sweep. We could see the reverse sweep get denied, but either way, I'm excited. Should be a great map whenever we get around to that one. Also, stream, I would like to apologize. My allergies are flaring up, like, right now of all times, and I am very obviously stuffy right now, so I am so sorry. Oh.
Yeah.
My bad.
It's springtime. It's springtime. It's not your fault, Gedster. It happens to the best of us.
It's the worst part about spring. It is the worst part about the spring season. Just suddenly the allergies flare up, and it is just miserable if you forget your medicine. It is bad.
Yeah. Going back to the match, though, we still haven't heard any word about what map we're going to. I'm interested to see what compositions we're going to see from Maelstrom, though. Just thinking about it, they play some pharmacy. Oh, word is on the map, we're going to Nepal. And that's really interesting, because teams usually opt into playing Rush on most points of Nepal, but there's also the opportunity to go a composition that counters Rush, a composition that Maelstrom has shown for us at some points with the Pharmacy or the Echo Mercy for us here. I'm interested to see which style they go towards, and which composition that Pukin Dogs go towards as well. They've played little bits of Ramatra here and there, but I think usually they favored the ball, favored the Diva. I don't think the Diva's going to work out too well for them here. We might just see ball mirror matchup in the end, but I'm really interested to see what compositions these teams are going to roll out on.
It will be interesting for sure. It'll also highly depend on where we go first, and it will be Village to start off the final map of the night. Both of these teams hinting the Ramatra. Both of these teams hinting the Mei and the Lucio. A couple differences, though. We have the Bastion and the Lucio for Maelstrom. Sorry, the Bastion and the Batiste for Maelstrom. And the Hanzo and the Ana for Pukin Dogs. Ever so slightly different. Both of these teams opting for high damage compositions, just with very different heroes to get that job done with. So it'll be interesting to see going forward how that ends for both of these teams. Out goes out goes that aggressive form there. Sleep Dart onto him. He's gonna be pretty solid there, but Blackman's gonna be kept alive pretty well by his team. Both Mei's gonna be using that wall very well, but Iconic is gonna be the one to find the first pick onto Booncore. Down he goes. Down goes that Hanzo. And with that damage gone, you know you can run forward and find everybody else. Nova will be the next to fall, and that will just snowball from there.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful first kill from Iconic there. Maelstrom having control of the point once they get to it. They're getting there. They got it. Sent 2 people there.
Yep.
It's going to be so hard for Puking Dogs to retake into Hypernut on Bastion. They might have to try to bait his turret form or something like that, because every single time Puking Dogs walk through a choke, Hypernut is going to hit shift, and he's going to raise them down. We get to see Puking Dogs, looks like they're going to go kitchen here, try to contest the high ground.
Ooh, interesting choice to go through there. I mean, if it works, it works, but right now you're just dealing with a lot of damage from Hypernut in this turret form. Nova is going to be the first to fall in this fight, losing out on the Mei right before you get that Blizzard is not good, particularly. Losing the Ana is even worse. Yeah, this is once again over real quick. Maelstrom doing a very good job so far at shutting down Pukin Dog's attempts to get even into the point.
Yeah, and it's a pretty difficult for Puking Dogs, like which choke do you want to go through? Because you got 4 different options, none of them feel that great. The 2 chokes in kitchen, easily Mei wallable. The choke on high ground, easily Mei wallable. Maybe you get through main, you get to point, and then Maelstrom, they can still hit another Mei wall when they get on point, and then they trap you in a room with Hypernut, and you're in trouble. You can see Puking Dogs, they go through kitchen again. This time though, Maelstrom have a lot of people stopped from walking. The window's going to come out first them here. They have the Blizzard as well. They might not even need it.
They may not need it here. Ricky goes down. Zorthcon going down as well. Hypernut falls eventually, but it won't matter. There's too many picks on the other side, and now 73% and building. It is getting worse by the moment for Pukin Dogs, but on the bright side, the only ultimate they've used as of now is like the worst ultimate on their team, that being the Dragon Strike. Everything else in this composition has much more potential impact, especially this potential for a nano-boosted Annihilation.
Yeah, and the nano-boosted Annihilation especially big because Maelstrom aren't playing on it. They can't nano it on the other side, but Nova goes down on the rotate. Zorthcon's getting zoned up as well. Likely can't get the nano to Ricky here, and things are falling apart.
No way. They do everything right, but they just can't get Nova to the point in time. They never had an opportunity to use this Blizzard, and it will go the way of Maelstrom 100-0. Extremely decisive, completely shutting down Nova for the entirety of that point. I don't think they even gave Pukin Dogs an opportunity to use Mei's wall effectively. Maelstrom just completely shutting down that character.
Yeah, they did. And it all started out with Iconic getting a headshot kill in the first fight that just let Maelstrom win the first fight and just snowball the momentum that they had all the way to getting a 100-0 victory. They played it incredibly well there. But now we're heading to a different point, and now we get to see a slightly different style of composition here. Pukin Dogs and Maelstrom going to be rolling out on the exact same composition, but we're at what I was talking about at the very, very beginning of the series. Maelstrom, they play the Ramatra with Ana Kiriko. Pukin Dogs, Ogre doesn't feel that comfortable on the flex support, plays the Lucio Ana instead. I'll be interested to see how these two styles of Ramatra comp face off against each other on this point.
Pukin Dogs right off the bat has a decent positional advantage. I say this, but they're in the exact same spot. Normally they'd have a better positional advantage. How about that one? But Ricky going forward a little bit here. Maybe a little too far forward. You are by yourself right now, my friend. Ochre is there with you now, but you've been cut off by that shield. You have a mega health pack to work with, but just about nothing else. Hypernut can just spam in damage, and so can everybody else. Good shot from Hypernut to open that right off the bat. Nova is going to fall, and there is no mercy to bring you back right now. Tracer is on the point, putting pressure down. Ochre falls though, and that is definitely a first capture for Maelstrom. This is building towards their potential series victory.
Yeah, and what a beautiful angle taken there from Hypernut, recognizing that Pukin Dogs, they're going to have to fight for this small little high ground space on the high ground, and that they have to walk through there, and they're going to walk right into his line of sight. Pukin Dogs, they're switching it up. This is their only opportunity to, at the very beginning of Control, and they decide to go back to their trusty Diva Sombra Tracer Rush composition. They're going to have to play fast, they're going to have to play for tempo, but we really saw them struggle to close out fights against what Maelstrom is playing on Blizzard World.
Boomcore's just looking for an opening here. There's so many opportunities for you when you're flanking like this, and that's going to be the one that is pointed out to you first, but the really well-placed Suzu from Triage is going to keep Hypernut alive. Super well placed, super well timed, all that jazz. And now a couple players on the side of Pukin Dogs are looking real low, particularly Zorthcon, gonna be falling first in this fight. But Triage and Dude will be the next to go down, one to an environmental kill of all things. 60% and building from Maelstrom. The only thing keeping this point ticking right now is this Flatman annihilation. Okay, popping it, but they know just to run away from it. I mean, I guess that gets you extra percentage for a little while, but it sure won't last long.
Yeah, but I'm worried here that we might see the turnaround from Maelstrom. Triage finds the kill onto Nova, the sleep onto Ricky. Triage gets traded though, but Maelstrom, they tick up percentage this entire time. Okay, I don't know about the Dragon Strike. I don't think that was the best decision. But still, Maelstrom, they managed to get 87% there, which is amazing for them. It is one fight territory for them if they manage to flip the point. Pukin Dogs, though, they have to pull things out with great ultimate cycling here. They have to win a fight with maybe only the EMP, maybe only the Pulse Bomb, and really just stop Maelstrom. But, oh, Maelstrom have 3 ultimates online, too. It's going to be really rough. And Boon Core getting scouted out there is brutal. They can't go early with the EMP anymore.
We call that spy checking, baby. TF2 days. A skill you all had to learn. The Nano goes out onto the most injured of the targets, that being Triage, just to keep him alive. Not an offensive Nano, but a stay alive please Nano. And it will work. Dude is gonna find a pick onto Nova. The bomb is gonna come out from Ricky. I don't think it's gonna find anything though. The remake is in play. Flatman not able to punish it entirely. Out goes the Kitsune Rush from Zorthcon, but it's not in time to save Ochre, who had just used that sound barrier. Hypernut is gonna find that pick, and now the annihilation is out onto the point. Zorthcon goes down. Ricky is out of mech and will go down, and 87% now turns into 89, 90, 91. It is ticking up. Maelstrom is so close to taking the series.
They're so close to taking it, and Pukin Dogs, they blew their whole load last fight. They have no ultimates left to retake here. They barely get the touch online, but somebody has to make a hero play for them. If they want a chance of getting back in, they barely touch the point again. They're making it further forward, but Nova goes down.
They have nothing. They have no Tracer. They have no ultimates. They have no Sombra, and soon they will have an L in their category. Ochre falls. It's just the Kiriko and the Diva on point. She's been anti-nated. The Dragon Strike is here to shut down anybody else from approaching, and Maelstrom is going to shut down the reverse sweep. Not gonna happen today. Pukin Dogs sent home with an L, and both of these teams walk away with a 4-3 record.
Yeah, and what an amazing back-and-forth series here. It really looked like Pukin Dogs were coming back and going to get the reverse sweep. But Maelstrom, they go back to the trusty May Bastion on last point. They just win the Ramatra mirror, taking advantage of the Bastion pick very well. They go to their trusty Ramatra Kiriko Anacomp on the next point, and they play it so well. Pukin Dogs, they ran into the same problem that they were running to on their Blizzard World attack. It's so hard to close out kills into what Maelstrom is playing when you have Diva, Tracer, Sombra. We get to see every single time that Pukin Dogs would go in, Flatman would just use Nemesis form, force out one of the DPS, and then Pukin Dogs can't do anything after that. Triage with clutch nano boosts as well to sustain the fights at times. Dude, also when he was on the Ana, also got some clutch nano boosts just to sustain the fight and just allow Maelstrom to live the initial engage from Pukin Dogs. Yeah, I mean, that was an amazing shot there from Hypernut. And after the initial engage comes out from Pukin Dogs, there was nothing that they could do in the fight after that. Maelstrom, they just took all of the momentum that Pukin Dogs had and threw it in the trash. They played that last map and the Ramatra comp very well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know if we're doing like a graphic or anything like that for this bit, but me personally, if I had to give an MVP award for this game, I think I would have to give it to Flatman. Consistently showing up on every tank for Maelstrom across the board. The Ramatra was on point, the ball was on point. It was all just fantastic throughout, and in a game like Overwatch, your tank is so very important. It's easy to just give the MVP to the tank player every single time, but I believe Flatman stood out on every map, even the ones they lost. He stood out every single time, so I'm pretty comfortable giving it to him.
Yeah, for sure. Blackman did a great job. I think you could look at pretty much every member of Maelstrom and say that they had a really good performance. Iconic came up clutch in some really key situations. If Iconic didn't do the clutch plays that he had on Li Zhang, Maelstrom probably lose that map. Maybe they lose the entire series then. We could be looking at something very, very different if Iconic didn't have some of the clutch plays that he had at times. I think Mamberdude, and the other sports name's escaping me at this point. I believe it's Triage. Yeah, Mamberdude and Triage also did a very good job of just sustaining in fights, as well, sustaining the engage from Puking Dogs and living. Sometimes that's all you really need to win, is just for your supports to live the initial dive. They did a great job of it as well. And Hypernut, some absolutely amazing shots at times. An amazing headshot on Blizzard World on the Ashe, an amazing kill on the Hanzo there, crucial for letting Maelstrom win the first fight of Sanctum. Just really good performances all around from Maelstrom.
Yeah, that shot, that Blizzard World shot onto the Tracer, absolutely, like, that saved that defense. Like, the only way they were going to be able to lose that defense was if that pulse bomb got kills, but it didn't. So, yeah, that one shot, extremely impactful. Very nutty, I might say. I apologize. I am so sorry. We should wrap it up. We should wrap it up. The series is over. Thank you all so much for watching. It's been a blast casting another Tranquility match. I love working with the Trank people. They're all great. I always have a good time here. The production is always fantastic. And the games are always good. So remember to be back next week. But for now, I have been Gedster.
I've been Needle. Sorry.
There we go. There we go. There we go. You aren't the first. You won't be the last to miss the cue. It's whatever. And have a good night, everybody.